According to Fleming Lorraine in 2011, the main idea is a central point or thought the author wants to communicate to readers. Why do we think that's important to know the main idea? Of course, because when we find the main idea, that's the key to understanding what we are reading. If we just read, we just decode, but we don't understand what we are reading, so it makes the reading practice or the reading moment become senseless because we did not really get what we are actually trying to read on a certain passage. And besides, it's important because the main idea ties all of the sentences in the paragraph or article together. It is act as a cohesion of those words together to becoming, for the author to come up with a very good explanation of what is the main idea of the text we are reading. So another question, same question, so why is it important to get the main idea? Of course, because without that, we can point out what the writer wants us to know. All of these reading pieces, selections, materials, there is an underlying message. And if we cannot get that, basically, we cannot fully understand what we are reading. So now, how to find the main idea? This is, again, not just have discovered yesterday, but it's just relearning of the basic concepts. First is, what we have to do is to find the topic first. How to do that? So we have to know the topic before we can determine the main idea, because the topics are helpful in looking into what we are reading. And we have to preview the text, and we have to ask ourselves, like, what or who is the article about? That's how to find the topic sentence. Another, after we have started to find the topic sentence, we will now be asking ourselves, like, what does the author want me to know about the topic? And we may also ask, what is the author teaching me about the topic? These are two questions, essential questions, that we will be asking ourselves every time we read a text, because this will guide us in understanding what we are reading. Another one is we can answer those questions by finding the idea that is common to most of the text or what opinion all the parts support. Okay? Now, after that, we find the topic, we ask ourselves, let's move on to the next one, which is look for a sentence that states the main idea. How to do that? Read the first and last sentences of the paragraph, because it's usually the topic sentence are written, and it's our guide to our students. Then after that, we have to pay attention closely to any idea that is repeated in different ways. If an author returns to the same thought in several different sentences or paragraphs, that idea is the main or central thought under the discussion. So how to find the main idea? Look for a sentence that states the main idea. When the author stated the main idea directly, it is called the stated main idea. And usually we can find that just very easy, right? Now, after doing all those exercises, we read, we ask, we look for the keywords that will lead us to understanding the main idea, we will now be knowing how to test the sentence that we have identified as a stated main idea. How to do that? First is, when you think you have located a stated main idea in the sentence, see if it meets these criteria. Number one, the sentence contains the topic. Second, the sentence tells the author's most important point about the topic. And the third, the sentence makes complete sense by itself. If it does not meet those criteria, well, you should forget that. What if the main idea is not directly stated? This is not a challenge for the students, right? Because it's not directly stated in a text. What would be the problem now? And how we can address that concern? Let's look at this one. At times, the main idea will not be stated directly. This is called an implied main idea. An implied main idea is the overall point the author is trying to make, but it is only suggested by supporting details and not clearly stated in one sentence. But the problem, are our learners ever ready to get the main idea by themselves? Can they do that? There's no question. When silence means yes. So, as there will be no topic sentence found in the paragraph, the reader is responsible for composing a statement of the main idea. And I hope they can write sentences, because if they cannot, that means we have to go over with how to teach the basics of the sentence, writing the sentences, right? So, now, as these are our keys to understanding, to identify the implied main idea. First is think of a general statement that could sum up the specifics as effectively as any stated topic sentence. Go back to reading all the specific statements, not just once, that opens the paragraph, and pay attention to any idea that is repeated in different ways. So why do I always keep saying that? Because the text will always repeat on a certain topic because it's what the author wants us to convey. Another, how to identify the implied main idea. We also have to look into the answering of these two basic questions, such as who or what did just I read about? Or what was the main point or points made by the author? So we are now discussing the text. The learners are now looking into what the text all about. And this is not the difference between the old practice of teaching reading, because we ask the students, but this time, with these guide questions, the students are directed to interrogate what they are reading. So there's no stress on the part of the students because they will not be dealing with the teachers. They are dealing with the text. So how to identify the implied main idea? Another tip. Once you feel sure that you have found the main idea, you have to test that. Write that. Then it must be in a complete sentence, which contains a subject and a verb, and it should express a complete thought. Ask yourself if the sentence could act as a summary of the other sentences in the paragraph. You have to answer this question. Do the examples, reasons, and facts included in the reading explain or give evidence supporting the main idea you have in mind? If not, then forget about what you have written, because definitely that is not the implied main idea. And of course, we have always very keen to tell the students that the main idea can be just located anywhere else in the paragraph. Okay? So now, I will now go to the modeling part. How will I do that? First, I will introduce to students the text detective on stated main idea. Take note, the stated main idea. I have prepared two text detective, one for the implied main idea, and the other one is for the stated main idea. And my colleagues are now going to distribute the worksheets. So, I will discuss to my students first the topics above, like what I need to do. I will explain to them the task they have at hand, like read the text, finding and asking myself and what I need to do. So, after that, I will require my students to look into the details of what I am looking for and what I found. So, I will teach the students read the text. First, I will direct them to the first paragraph. Altogether, we will be working on the first paragraph. Then again, I will guide the students to looking into the last paragraph. I will be asking them to look for the clues in the paragraph. Then after that, after showing that to students, I will now find the title. But not all paragraphs have titles or the selections. Then I will ask them to look for the picture, the topic of the passage, the focus of the passage, and the important idea of the passage. And after that, I will show to students this task Here. Fine. Ask myself, like, what does the author want me to know about the topic? Where did I find that clue? How did I know that? What other clues helped me? What did I think that was important? And then what I need to do, because it's stated, it's just within the paragraph, I will ask the students to look for the main idea. What is motion? Consider a ball that you noticed one morning in the middle of a lawn. Later in the afternoon, you notice that the ball is at the edge of the lawn against a fence, and you wonder if the wind or some person blew it at a steady rate, if many gusts of wind move it, or even if some children kick it all over the yard. All you know for sure is that the ball has been moved because it is in a different position after some time passed. These are the two important aspects of motion. One, a change of the position, and the passage of time. So, after reading that paragraph to the students, I will have again the formative assessment points like the happy face and the sad face. I will ask the students, did you understand the passage? For comprehension check. And most of the time, students are giving us mechanical answer. Yes, teacher. But when you ask them the nitty-gritty of the topics, they cannot say a word because they have this very mechanical response. So now, when I need to explain what the passage is all about, I have to do that because it's only then that I can let my students understand the passage they are reading. If not, so I still have to go over with the text until some time that they can understand what they are reading. So really, it's a tedious process, but I believe this will help our students to fully understand how to get the main idea of the passage they are reading. Yan na, I have asked them, after reading the passage, I will ask them. So they will raise the happy face if they have understood that, sad face if not, but if they didn't understand, I will explain to them in details, or if possible, in vernacular, so that they can really tell that they now know what is the content of the passage. So, I will go back to the text detective. I will show to students. This is the modeling part. The teacher models to students how to get the main idea using the text detective on the stated main idea. Okay, I will show to class. Class, I read the text. In the first paragraph, I found out that it is about motion. So I will show to students by writing my answer under what I have found. Then I will proceed to the last paragraph or last sentence. This is what it tells us. These are the two important aspects of motion. One, a change of position, and the passage of time. So I will write my response to the column what I found, like read the text, last paragraph sentence. What it tells me, what I have found, I will write there. Change of position and passage of time. Now, about the clues. All in all, the passage talks about the motion. So I will write here in that column what I found. And then the clues, still about the motion. Then after that, I proceed to the next column, which is find the. Of course, there is no title, so I will write none. Not all paragraphs have titles. So I will write there none. There's no picture used, so there is none also. Next to that is, I will show to students what is the topic of the passage, like writing what I have found. So what the topic is all about? The topic is about motion. What is the focus of the passage? I will write also, the focus of the passage is about motion. Then, important idea of the passage, still about motion. It revolves on that particular topic, motion. Then I will ask myself, show to students, class, I ask myself after reading the text, what does the author want me to know about the topic? So I will write my response. The topic is motion, and the paragraph describes a ball being moved over time. So that's how I understand what I am reading. So I will show to students, class, this is my answer to that question. Then I will move on to the next topic. Where did I find that clue? How did I know that? I found it in the last sentence, right? How did I know? It was stated in the paragraph because it's a stated main idea. Then I will respond to the question, what other clues helped me? So I will write as my response, the sentences repeat, moved, and time. The last sentence includes both those ideas. If we go over with the selection, and you can find that in your handouts. Then what did I think that was important? I will say that I read a paragraph to see if the last sentence could act as a summary of other sentences. And if the example explains the main idea, and luckily, it does. So now, I will now fill out what I need to do and what I found columns. What I need to do, look for the main idea. What I found, the stated main idea, which is actually written below the paragraph. These are the two important aspects of motion. One, change the position, and the other one is the passage of time.